We are Gathering of the Geeks, podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one about extracting wick while falling downstairs. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso and my coach beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how are you?
I am doing splendid. How are you doing?
Yeah, you had fun with that title, didn't you?
I did. It was actually longer, and I made it shorter. It was going to be a little bit longer.
I like it. It's got a little bit of a tongue twister, but I liked how you blended it all together.
When I typed, I was wondering, is he going to say all of this? I was curious how that was going to work.
Yeah. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Just search Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us. What's up to Cookie Phil, Grabs, Eric, and I believe for our first time, Andrew. How's it going tonight, everybody? How's your Sunday? How's your week been? Chris, when was the last time you bought a TV?
Oh, that's a good question. 2019.
What'd you do with your old TV?
I kept it, I think. Yes.
Do you use it still, or is it in a box?
It is in my daughter's room.
I have a hard time throwing out electronics. Like, there's nothing wrong with the TV that I had, but I wanted a better one. So then that old TV just sits in a box now, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a fine TV. I just feel like I'm going to have I have two TVs in my basement that are not being used right now.
I understand stockpiling TVs, though.
Yeah, you never know when one night drop a pixel or something.
Right, and you might need a temporary TV, or if you ever want to turn the basement into, I don't know, some kind of Emmet cave, you could do that. Right. I don't like throwing away TVs either, because I think there's always a use for them.
Yeah.
But the fun. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was saying there's no resale value for them, which is interesting to me.
Right. That's right. My aunt and uncle needed a TV out at their lake house, and I had one in my basement. I'm like, it's okay, I can give you mine, and then so I traded them TVs. So I got rid of a TV that I didn't want for a TV they didn't want. So now I'm still stuck with the same amount of TVs that I don't want.
Is it like an older TV or something?
Yeah, the one at the lake house was even older than the one that I had. So it's like,
okay,
I can't even get rid of the TVs that I don't want. It's tough, man. It's tough.
You could always put them on the curb and pick up free TVs.
Yeah, see, I thought about that.
It's better to have spares. Phil is right.
That's right.
Or Graham says, put it across from the throne, I guess.
Yeah, just one in the bathroom. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's like buying a car. Once it leaves the store, it loses all value. Yeah, people don't want to pay $100 for a 46-inch TV or something.
Right.
I've been on Craigslist before, just kind of browsing around, saying, "Hey, what's on here?" Or even Facebook Market, and people do not want to buy these things. I think because they are pretty cheap. I was at Walmart last night, and there was a 55-inch TCL brand TV for, I think it was $250, which is pretty cheap.
I think that I have a 55 TCL, and I think I got it for $400, so it's probably around the same price for American to Canadian swap. Do you do that with electronics for big sales, like Boxing Day sales or Black Friday sales, or do you just saying I need a new TV, I'm going to get one now, or do you wait for the sale?
It kind of depends. If I want the TV and I know it's around November when Black Friday would be, I will wait. But if not, I'll just buy it whenever. The last TV I bought, the one in 2019, I actually bought it. I needed a new TV anyway, but it was on Amazon. I didn't know they had this at the time. They have this thing where you can pay as you go, monthly payments. I was like, This isn't going to work, but I want the TV anyway, so I'll just order it. Yeah. And then it did actually work with monthly payments, which was pretty cool.
Those monthly payment things are the best now.
And you could use them on everything, that app. I forgot what it's called. But you can put a payment on anything. It's amazing.
Yeah, we had to get a new washing machine, and we bought it on Samsung, and they had a payment plan. This makes things so you can get a better machine and pay it over a couple of months or whatever. It makes all the difference. I like how they do that now.
I do too. I just don't like the interest involved with it.
That's true. Or sometimes they'll want you to get a credit card with it or something. Yes. That's always a sneaky deal.
They are, but credit cards are fun.
Yeah. That's true.
They are fun. You can do a lot with credit cards.
You can do a lot with credit cards. All right, Chris. So it's been a couple of weeks since our show. We took Father's Day off. So what you been up to? Have you read anything? Have you watched anything? What do you want to talk about?
I have not read a single thing in the last 2 weeks. I have added a lot of things to my list that I'm going to read.
Yeah, that's good.
Like I've decided I'm going to read Arkham Asylum for the first time.
Right. Yeah.
That's high on my list. I'm going to read a lot of Flash stuff because after the movie, I'm interested now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was this week. I actually got to it late, but the new issue of Avengers from Jed McKay came out, so I want to read that. So I will get to that stuff probably this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly watched things over the last week and a half or so.
Yeah, same. I only read one thing, the new Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino book, Tenement, which was very, very good. So I look forward to that, keep rolling along, but I haven't read anything new over the last 2 weeks. Read some old stuff new. So
what is Tenement about?
So it's about 7 people that live in an apartment building, and one of the residents dies. Before he dies, he gives a key to one of the other residents, and that key links all of those people together somehow inside of the building. I'm not really sure how it all relates right now, and that's kind of the thing with Lemire books over the last little while. It's like you read one, it's like, I don't know where this is going or what it's like, but then you get to the end of the arc or you get to the end of the story, and it all works out in the end. So it's good so far, but to really tell you what it's about, I have no idea. Just people in an apartment building, and one of the guys dies, and they have a key to do some weird and kooky stuff. That's as far as I got so far.
So it's not like The Super with Joe Pesci?
No, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. Because that also involved an apartment building.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's a good movie. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like the book's called Tenement, but all I could think of was tenant, like they're tenants at this apartment building.
Okay, yeah.
Tenement, tenants. I don't know if there's a relation there in some way, shape, or form, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It sounds fun.
Yeah.
Lemire is always interesting. Even if I don't enjoy the story, it's worth reading just because there's something to keep you there.
There's something there for sure. Absolutely.
It's exactly like Sweet Tooth without any hybrids or a big man. So does that mean the kid kills people in this one with the horns? Or is that still not a thing?
Still, I don't think so, Chris. I'm sorry.
Well, he has them and he should use them. It's a dark world. Grabs also like that first Avengers issue. I think you and I were both kind of lukewarm on it, though.
I read it. I didn't read it when you had read it, and I read it maybe a week or so or a couple days after that. It was okay. The second issue that came out this week, or okay.
This week.
I'll catch to it. See what's up.
Yeah, I think the new Blade book may be out too. I was pretty excited for that.
That one that's called Blade, but it's got his daughter or something.
Well, there's Daughter of Blade, and then an actual Blade book. I think the Blade book is out, but I could be wrong. I've been really lazy when it comes to comics lately.
Yeah.
My consumption has been turn something on I could just watch, and that's what I've been doing.
Blade #1 doesn't come out until July 19th.
I am wrong.
Yeah.
Then it was Daughter of Blade I saw.
That's the one with that funky Frank Miller cover that we were talking about the other day.
Okay, so let's have a discussion here. I don't know how many of you guys that watch and listen to the show are Frank Miller fans, but his new covers, I think, are a sign that there's a point in your life when you do anything. I don't care whatever it is that you do, maybe you should stop. You know what I mean? Because like that cover for Blade is so bizarrely bad. Well, I think it is. It's not for me, I guess I should say. I don't want to complain on it too much, but
yes,
I haven't seen many people liking this new style of art he's doing. I don't know if you have, but I haven't seen too many people loving it. And it feels like maybe he's just cranking these out quickly. Whereas I believe if he took his time, maybe it would be a different result.
Yeah, the art on these covers, and so far what I've seen, and I think what you've seen, is the Blade one. We've seen the Captain America one, the Wolverine one, and the Daredevil one. And the art is actually a lot like his characters in the Sin City run that he did, where everything is quite blocky and very misshapen. But that was a different kind of story than what these classic characters are. And it's, again, people love Frank Miller. I like a lot of what Frank Miller did, but I think there does come a point in time where this style doesn't work, and it doesn't work for me at all. I think that, like, specifically, we were talking about that Captain America one. Like, he just looks ugly. Like, he doesn't look like freaking Steve Rogers.
Like Sloth from, is that the character's name? From the Goonies?
Goonies, yeah.
Or is it Chunk? What was the thing's name?
No, Chunk is the little boy. Sloth is the big fella. Yeah, you're right.
He looks like Sloth in a Captain America mask. I'm not into it.
It's just exactly. I would not go out and buy these at all, and I'd actually turn away from them and say, like, I wouldn't even pick it up to even have a closer look at them, just to see if I'm missing something. It's just something totally off about it. And like, when you compare it, it's interesting when you compare it to, like Grabs is talking about here, the Superman Year One, which, again, the story isn't that good, I don't think. Not that I remember. Specifically after that first issue, I think, where he goes underwater.
First issue is, like, I thought was fantastic, and then it just nosedived for me.
And the art in that, I think, was done by John Romita Jr., if I remember correctly. So at some point, the Frank Miller stuff, like his writing, especially over the time of, like, Master Race and The Golden Child, it's just, oh boy, like he's Frank Miller seems like he's been punching the Dark Knight Returns ticket for a number of years now.
There's too many holes in that ticket now.
Exactly.
But yeah, no offense to people, if you like him, that's cool.
100%.
I'm gonna say he's just not our cup of tea. But you mentioned the Blade cover, and I've been sitting on that.
Yeah, they're not for me, and I don't know what other people have been saying about them either. I don't know if people have been liking them, or
I haven't seen too many positive responses, but I have seen some who do enjoy it, and a lot. And then there's also some, well, he's a legend, he should be able to do what he wants, which I completely agree. I mean, do what you want, but I don't think those are the covers I will be picking up, and that's fine.
That sounds like Clint Eastwood and Cry Macho. Like, okay, Clint, it's time to stop what you're doing there.
I haven't seen that.
Exactly.
Phil says might be time to put the pencil down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to insert that in there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So what have you been watching lately?
So I've been watching a ton of Young Sheldon. That's kind of been the main thing for me. I really like that. I've talked about it a few times. I also watched some movies. So I think I mentioned we were going to go see Elemental. I saw that, which was kind of a weird one. Have you taken the kids to see it yet?
No, we were going to go last week, but I realized that we went to 2 movies in 2 weeks, and that was enough of movie theaters for me. So
fair. So we went and saw that, and it's like a children's rom-com.
Nice.
It was kind of weird. Because I know most of the Disney movies have, like, love stories in them, which is perfectly fine. But this one the formula felt like a rom-com. Like, opposites attract, they pick on each other. It was like My Big Fat Greek Wedding is an animated movie.
That sounds great.
With fire people and water people.
Which ones are the Greeks and which ones are the white people?
The fire people would be the Greeks.
Right.
Yeah, the fire people would definitely be. It's funny because the father, I think, was modeled after the father in that movie. They're really similar.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that was an interesting time. I didn't hate it or anything, but it was. I think I was just kind of bored in it. But it wasn't made for me anyway. I saw John Wick finally, and there's a lot of stairs in that movie.
Oh my god.
It's a lot of stairs. I did like it though. I thought it was a fun movie. It's just that parts of it get comical, Yeah. I don't know if that's just me. I understand John Wick is supposed to be like the 80s action movies where the main character was indestructible. Right. Nothing ever happens to him really. He just keeps on going. Like he'll catch a bullet with his teeth, spit it back, and get a headshot.
Sure.
I understand that. Yeah. But there's a point where there's one character who would not die. And there was more than like 2 or 3 times where the character should have been dead. because he's not John Wick. He's just a henchman,
Mhm.
but he keeps going. So that was an odd thing for me. And then, of
When
course,
I talked about it a couple weeks ago, I mentioned how weird it felt about some of the characters and the villains, and
yes,
how like like the big fat guy. Now that you've seen it,
Scott
like in
Adkins.
that, yeah. So and how over the top some of the villains have become, and how that was a kind of a turn off for me. What do you think about that?
It was like I was watching a video game adaptation of Sifu or Street Fighter. Not in a bad way though. I think the colorful villains are fun. Like I actually really like the Scott Adkins character. He reminded me of the Penguin.
Right.
So I was all for that. It's like, oh, okay, John Wick fights the Penguin. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That was neat. I really liked Kane.
Right.
Kane, I think, might be my favorite character coming out of this.
Hmm.
And the villain, I thought the Bill Skarsgård as the villain was fantastic.
Yeah, he was very good. Yeah.
Yeah, and for Anthony Caruso, my buddy from DC Unlimited, has been pushing for him to play the Joker in the new DCU Batman Brave and the Bold, whatever it be called.
Right.
I could really see that, especially after watching this. He was great. The choreography and the action is very cool too. I can't get past the comical stuff. Like when
just how not believable it is now. You mean?
Yes, because I think the first one didn't feel like that. The second one was kind of going into that territory, and then 3 really put the stamp like this is just crazy stuff.
Right.
And this one's like, well, we don't even need to be in a real world anymore. We could be in space. It doesn't matter. like Fast and Furious kind of things,
Right.
But again, I enjoyed it. There's a lot of good about it. It's just some stuff bugged me.
Yeah, I agree with that, and it's interesting how you kind of explained the hierarchy or the trajectory of the movies. How 1 didn't feel as crazy, 2 felt a little bit more, 3 was like everything that the culmination of what John Wick is, and then 4 felt the same way. But then how 4 felt, that was exactly what it was. 4 felt the same. It felt like for me as I was thinking about it, and I think about it now, there was nothing about 4 that I couldn't have got in 3. Like there was nothing in number 4 that had me excited or surprised, because I'd already seen some of that in 3. I'm not sure if that's a way to explain it or not, because like I understand, like that fight, the stair fight scene, it's just okay. He falls down the stairs, and he gets back up, and then he's back down the stairs again, and then like I guess if anything, the climax or the very end of 4 is how it differs from 1, 2, and 3, and like how the movie ends. I don't know, but just something about there's nothing in 4 that I couldn't get in 3, because 3 is the culmination of everything. I think
4 does nothing special.
Yeah,
except when Optimus Prime does show up at the end.
Absolutely.
And he is the ultimate villain that John Wick takes down by himself. But no, I agree with that. 4 didn't really. It just kind of. I guess they feel like one long saga. I guess that's the idea. It's a saga.
Right. Sure.
And it actually made me more excited for Ballerina, which I think will be something different.
Yes.
And the Continental, I'm really excited for Continental now. Whereas I was just kind of like, oh, I'll watch it, but now I'm only for it.
Yeah, the Continental thing. Yeah,
that was the biggest twist of all.
Yeah, the Continental thing, specifically what happens to a certain character in number 4 has me excited for the Continental show. So that's good. And yeah, and Ballerina is just, I can't wait for that movie to come out.
I was always interested in, Ruben says, I was always interested in the High Table, but I think it's cool that they were a faceless villain. Okay, so that's another thing. I'm with Ruben. I like it being an off-screen boogeyman.
Right.
That we don't see. Now we have a face to them, kind of, in the form of Clancy Brown.
Right.
And I would wager, if you put Clancy Brown's character versus Keanu Reeves' John Wick, the High Table gets the legs cut off. That's just my guess. So I think maybe I'd like if they don't push that again. Let's not see them. Let's go with the boogeyman that we don't see.
Yeah, I like the High Table aspect. I like, and like you said, in the shadows type of deal. Because that was something I really liked about number 3 was, and I mentioned this before when I was talking about John Wick 4, is the history of John Wick. I love that there's a history, and we don't know a lot of the history. Yeah, the lore. I love that stuff about it. So we get a lot of that in 4 with the Clancy Brown character, especially when you can see that he's missing one of his fingers too. And like, oh, well, that's interesting because, John's missing one of his, and relationship there, and then. I think John goes. Is that his sister in number 4? I couldn't really tell if his real sister or not when he goes to the.
No. Okay, I was confused by that too.
Yeah.
I think that's just like, hey, you're a killer. We're killers. You're one of us.
Right.
That's what I got out of it.
Mm-hmm. The prequel to John Wick will eventually probably come and explain all of this stuff to us.
I hope it
about the high table and about who John was before he retired. Grabs, you said that you watched one fight scene from John Wick and that was enough. Which one was the one?
I forgot to ask him that too.
Yeah, which fight scene was it? I wonder.
The last thing I wanted to mention about this movie is I think my favorite scene is the fight between Koji and Kane. That sword fight,
right?
To me, that was like the best thing in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's why I really just want more of Kane.
Nice.
Give me the Kane prequel. And John Wick does hate stairs.
Well, that's what I wonder. Like, they're not making a Kane movie, are they? Because I didn't know if I missed that because him and his daughter kind of happened, and then the daughter of what's his name came back to stop him or whatever.
There were knives and a eye stab. That could be any of them.
Well, the knives that could be 3 or 2. I can't remember where he's in the long chase and they're in like that the museum or whatever, and they're breaking the cabinets and taking the knives out. Right after he builds like a revolver as the guys are running up the stairs, and they get into a knife thing and they're just throwing knives all over the place. I can't remember if that's I think that's the start of 3. Yeah, that's the start of 3.
They all bleed together.
Mm-hmm.
I like them.
Yeah, they do sometimes.
They are fun. Zeddy says, random thought. Anyone think Finn Whitrock would make a good DCU Batman? That's my new pick. I like that. And I forgot that guy existed. I don't know if he would.
Green Lantern.
Guy, right? I don't know if he would come back because of that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you guys strung me along for years, and now I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
JW4 was great, but too long. I agree with that, too. It was unnecessarily long. Mm-hmm. And that was the scene of it.
Yeah, I thought so. Lots of knives in that one.
Lots of knives.
Knives.
So I watched John Wick. I rewatched The Batman for the first time in a while. So that was always a good time. And it's still on HBO Max. But I think my favorite thing I've watched in the last week or so is Polite Society. Have you heard of this movie?
You mentioned it to me, I think, a week or so ago, but I have not seen it yet.
Okay. I really love Polite Society. The more I've thought about it and sat on it, Polite Society is really just a great watch. There's a lot of fun stuff in it. And the story is fairly grounded, which makes the imaginative bits stand out a little bit more than they would normally.
Mm.
Because in the fights, you don't really know what's real and what's not. Or if they're even really fighting. Which is kind of the fun part of it too. You don't really know, and they never go back to explain, oh yeah, that happened or that didn't happen. It just keeps rolling along, which I think is pretty fun. And the cast is very good too. It's all Indian actors, and I don't think I've seen any of them in anything else before. I could be wrong. I didn't dig too much in the cast, but they're really entertaining, and the action is fun. On Twitter, somebody compared it to Scott Pilgrim as far as the action goes and the way the story kind of runs. And I really agree with that. So I highly recommend Polite Society if you guys want something different to check out. If you don't like it, you could yell at me, but I think it's a good time.
It's an action movie?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
It's like... it's hard to explain it. It's kind of like a comedy. It's like, bear with me. I know I'm stuttering and stuff here. I think it's I would say it's Scott Pilgrim smashed together with Bend It Like Beckham.
Holy cow!
That's what I would say it's like.
And you said it was all Indian actors. Is it a foreign
Yeah.
language film?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it's American.
Nice.
But yeah, it's like Bend It Like Beckham smashed together with Scott Pilgrim.
Polite Society. All right.
Yes, it is on Peacock. So if you guys subscribe to that, it's waiting for you, along with Renfield, which you should definitely watch as well. We need the numbers so I can get a sequel, guys.
That's right.
Help me get the prequel to Renfield.
Help me.
Help me. Well, if we get the sequel, we'll do something fun. Like we'll have Emmet dress up as Nick Cage. Anyway, Crab said, "Me and the wife started over rewatching our rewatch of Lost." Correct me if I'm wrong, Graz, but didn't you guys just finish it like within the last 6 months or so?
Holy cow!
So Zeddy asked Bill who his pick for Batman is, and it's Jake Gyllenhaal. I fully support this. If you've listened to DC Unlimited, we have Manifestation Circles Thursday at 7. We'll see you there.
Manifestation Circles.
Thursdays at 7. We'll see you there.
I like. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that's what I got. Oh, that was last year. Then we started a rewatch that got stalled. Okay, I got you. So you guys watch Lost yearly?
Well, I think Steve does that too from Midnight Vices.
So I don't know if there's any show I would watch yearly. Well, no, I tell you what, there are. I do watch Friends. Well, I watch Friends so many times. I know not to put on a single episode because it'll restart the loop for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't do that. Big Bang Theory, I'm hitting a gross amount of watches on, which is why I've been watching Young Sheldon instead.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to rewatch Interview with the Vampire. Yeah, I guess I could do it. Never mind.
I think. Well, it sounds like it's easy when you're talking about one season, but Lost is what 6 seasons, I think.
Yeah, aren't they like 22 episodes a season?
Yeah. 45-minute episodes too, or 50-minute episodes.
I
don't know if I could plan it like Grabs and Steve do, where it's a yearly thing. I'd be like, all right, it's time to watch Lost again, or it's time to watch The Sopranos again. That kind of thing. I don't know if I'd have it scheduled.
Yep.
I don't think I'd be able to keep that schedule.
I don't think I've ever rewatched a show that's not a comedy or a sitcom.
Mm.
Like Buffy, as much as I adore it, I have never rewatched the entire series.
There you go. Is that all you watched the last little while?
That I can remember, and I think I probably I rambled enough about John Wick and Stairs.
Where are you on Young Sheldon now?
Toward the finale of the first season.
Oh, okay. Still got a bit to go then.
Yeah, I watch like 2 episodes a night when I get a chance. So
nice.
They breeze by. It's fun.
Yeah, they do. Well, yeah, they're like 18 minutes long.
Perhaps says it's not yearly for us. There's nothing on right now for us. Let's watch something we own. Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
You guys should check out Interview with the Vampire or Renfield.
Yeah. And make sure you download Peacock and watch Renfield.
Yes.
So not this past Thursday, the Thursday before, I went to see Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, which was a shit ton of fun.
Okay.
I had a great time with it. It was funny. You know how in like Kong Skull Island or the Godzilla movies, you're like, what are these humans doing? Can the humans go away so I can just watch big things punch each other?
All the time.
That's the way I think.
With the other ones.
Yeah, so that about, I don't know, 3/4 through Rise of the Beast, that's all I could think about. Not that the characters are bad. I think it's Anthony Ramos is the main character, and then he has a female lead that comes around with him as well. And for the first 3/4, I'm like, all right, I don't need you humans. You humans can go away. I just like to see Optimus and Optimal and I forget what the Scourge and all those guys just beat the shit out of each other. And then during the climax of the movie, like the last quarter of the movie, when they actually give the human Anthony Ramos specifically something really interesting to do, I had totally lost that train of thought about less humans. I wanted more of the humans, which was very, very cool. So I had a great time with Rise of the Beast. It's probably my favorite Transformers movie, pretty close to the first one. I still think the first one is quite good, and an ape, and a cheetah, and lots of things.
You
So
say
if you're a
it's your
fan of
favorite since the first?
yeah, since the first
Oh,
one, I had a really really good time with it. Aside from like Beast Wars is the Transformers that I grew up watching. I didn't watch the Transformers TV show or even Transformers the movie. I grew up watching Beast Wars, so having the inclusion of the Maximals in this movie automatically for me kind of boosted it up a little bit. But then the action was very very good, and just the way that it ended, where it was just robots beating the shit out of each other, but then that gave that human, that Anthony Ramos, something really interesting to do towards the end. Um, it was very, very good. So I had a great time with Rise of the Beast. My son had a great time as well. It was just over a little bit over 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think. So it was almost too long, I think, for my son. But robots punching each other certainly helped.
well, yeah.
Definitely.
I think giant robots doing anything is always fun. I like Real Steel as far as giant robots go.
See that I was going to bring up Real Steel during our opening conversation, but I didn't. I was going to ask if you had ever seen it before.
I love Real Steel. Like that's the movie I thought I'm not going to watch that. That doesn't look like my thing. I mean, I love you, Jackman, but I don't want to see him with robots like Rocky.
Yep.
I love that movie. Like,
Yep.
I genuinely love it. I don't know what Void Rivals is. Do you?
I don't know. I've seen it on covers, but I don't know.
Okay. Zeddy says no spoilers, but ending of Transformers better payoff. I saw something about the ending. I guess we'll talk about it after the show. Not to spoil it for anybody, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna. I haven't heard anything about them doing anything from it. I don't know how well Rise of the Beast is doing, if they're gonna make some more or not, but we'll see.
Oh, okay. It's a Transformers and G.I. Joe thing
That's right.
from Robert Kirkman. That's some good stuff there, bro.
Yeah, Energon. Yeah, it's the mixture of everything. I'm
So
excited about that.
All the toys have come together, or really, like, is that the idea?
Yeah,
Like,
I guess so. Like somehow GI Joe and Transformers are linked now, in more ways than one. So I don't know why or how, but that's the way it's going to be.
That's kind of interesting, though.
Lots of people. Yeah, I'm excited for that the Transformers comic, just because it's from Daniel Warren Johnson, and I'll read anything by Daniel Warren Johnson. And I like the way that you described what Transformers will be with Daniel Warren Johnson doing it. So
what?
You said about something about crying, Optimus crying or something.
Sad Transformers.
Yeah, sad Transformers. That's it.
Yeah, sad Transformers. Heartfelt Transformers. Yeah, I will probably see Rise of the Beast at home. Do I have to watch any of the previous ones? Because I've only seen the first three. I tried the Mark Wahlberg one, and I couldn't.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen Dark Side of the Moon or Dark of the Moon. I think that's the third one.
That's the third one.
And I haven't seen the night one, and this one's just fine. Okay. It takes place during the 90s, 1993, I think.
So it's like a sequel to Bumblebee.
Yeah, and then it mentions something that happens in Bumblebee.
Okay.
But you're cool with not even seeing Bumblebee either.
I did want to see that one, though. I watched like 20 minutes of it because it was on one of the streamers. I thought, oh, this is pretty good. Then I had to go do something. So.
I think you like Bumblebee, and I really think you'd like Rise of the Beast as well.
Is DWJ doing the art for that Transformers book too?
I'm just gonna double check that. I think so. He does all the. Yeah, he writes and.
I thought he was skipping this one though. For some reason.
I thought he was because Mike Spicer, the colorist, is Daniel Warren Johnson's colorist.
Did they show you my high school graduation? I don't know. Was Optimus Prime there, Rabs? Or was it what is the other one? Optimal Prime?
Yeah, it's written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson with colors by Mike Spicer. Yeah, so it's a DWJ all the way around.
Cool. Sad Formers.
That's Rise of the Beast. The other thing that I watched was Extraction #2. I watched that just the other night. And that was incredible. Incredible. Like oh boy. So in the first one, they had that one shot, right, in the cars. I think it's more towards the middle of the movie. And they up the one shot in this movie beyond anything that I could have expected. And I know it's not one shot for a lot of reasons, but the way that it's done, they do it really well where you can't really tell that it was a couple of shots mixed together. But I was much like how I felt. I remember watching John Wick for the first time, or when I do watch John Wick, and how you don't understand how they can pull things off sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That was Extraction 2. I did not know how they could pull some of the action off. Chris Hemsworth post Avengers stuff. This is the Chris Hemsworth what I like to see. Him just blasting and blowing guys away, just nonstop gunfighting and fighting nonstop. I had a great time with Extraction 2. It's I love the first one a lot, but I think the second one's even better. I had a great time with it. It's incredible.
What makes it better?
You have to watch it. I think you'll love it. I really do.
What makes it better?
Well, the action for one, like that one shot is just over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like it's 45 minutes. And it's just nonstop. That's all it is, just the action. Like I guess I like the characters like Chris Hemsworth. I don't even know his name in the movie.
Tyler.
It's great, sure. And like his partners, the one female that he has, who's in the first one as well. I don't know her name, and she has I think it's her brother or her boyfriend is in this one. It doesn't matter. Like then the villain, he was nothing special about him, but the action was just incredible. And Chris Hemsworth, it looks like I think he's doing most of his own stunts. It looked like he was doing most of his own stunts, but I don't know if that's true or not. But it was just the action. It was just nonstop action for the movie. I don't even know how long the movie was. I don't care. I think
it was 2 hours. I was going to watch it the other night, and I saw, it's 2 hours. I think I'm too tired for that. Mm-hmm. And then I watched Polite Society.
Yeah, just something about the nonstop action did it for me. And action movies are a comfort movie for me. I don't know why that is, but I can always put it on in a good action movie.
I feel that way about horror movies sometimes.
Yeah, and that's what's weird about it, right? Like a horror movie, it shouldn't be a comforting movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like a rom-com, that's comforting, or just
I have watched Fever Pitch a gross
something
like
times. That. Sure, I get it, and like I can't say enough good things about it because I don't even know how to explain it other than the action was just so good in Extraction 2 that was the movie for me. Like I don't care about. It's not that I didn't care about the characters, but I didn't know about them. The story was very simple, and it was actually interesting. Tyler, his name, thank you. It blended in more of his past life and I think it was his ex-wife or his wife that we hear a little bit about in the first one. I think.
I remember that.
His family is blended into this one a little bit more.
Okay, didn't the first one come out in 2020?
I feel like we were watching it during the pandemic. Yes,
that's what I was thinking too, and I don't remember anything of it. Mm-hmm. I just remember I liked it, and I remember the ending because the Gray Man and this in like the exact same way.
Right.
And one of them is a much better film than the other, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you remember in Dark Knight Rises when Bruce kind of puts his body back together with that thing on his leg.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah. There's like that kind of stuff in Extraction 2. Like if you remember how the first one ends, where he's he gets shot and he falls off the bridge, and that's pretty simply the end of them. They piece him back together like a robot, and
we can rebuild him.
Exactly. It's a little ridiculous, but again, there at a certain point, the action was just so good. I couldn't. Yeah, the action blew me away, but how good it was. So that really sold it for me. And much like Zeddy was talking about with the end of Rise of the Beasts, how the ending could pay off. If the ending pays off for Extraction 2, that could be cool too. Because I don't know if we saw, there's a certain character in that wasn't in the trailers that I saw, that is in the movie.
I don't know, but I think Arnold Schwarzenegger's in everything on Netflix right now. So if it's him, I get it.
My mom says she loves that foobar, by the way. So
I've heard it's great.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a really awesome action movie, like Extraction 2 could be one of my favorite action movies. It might be. It's just really incredible. They're really incredible work that they did. So yeah.
I thought the first one was really good too because it's funny. It feels like 80s action style movies are making a huge comeback.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably the better of those, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I guess John Wick would be the best, but this would be right behind it, I think. The first one.
A lot of it. Yeah, I think a lot of it did feel like just the John Wick style of fighting, where close combat, gunplay,
a lot of hits.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just the scale of it was a lot larger than the John Wick movies. It felt like. So I had a great time with Extraction 2. People are into action movies. I recommend that for sure.
You've seen Equilibrium, right?
Yep.
That should have a sequel.
Yeah, it should.
That was an awesome movie. Nobody talks
With
about
Christian
it.
Bale and everything. Who was the other person in
Tay Diggs,
was
I think.
Christian Bale? Tay Diggs, that's right.
Yeah, I forget Tay Diggs exists, but Tay Diggs was a really good actor at the time when that came out. I think now he's sort of fizzled away. Like nobody. I don't remember the last thing I've seen him in.
No, I have no idea.
But he was great in that movie. Him and Christian Bale, they both held their own together on screen. It was something to see. And the type of combat was very unique for the time. Whereas now I feel we've seen a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, that was like the Anti-Matrix. I think that came out at the same time as the first one.
It came out very close.
Yeah, they were polarizing together the type of fighting style and philosophical movie themes in the movie as well. So
and long coats. It was also during that time where everybody wore long coats.
Everybody wore trench coats.
There was trench coats.
There were trench coats.
That was it. That was a whole movement at the time. Every character needed.
I like that. It was a movement. Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what the movie was, they stuck them in trench coats. Even if it was a rom-com, they got trench coats.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember the movie Loser with Jason Biggs.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, there's a point where he has a trench coat. Ian says Extraction 3 has been confirmed. So glad because both have been great. Extraction 2 is a big surprise for everyone. So good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
Well, I want to be part of the Fun Extraction Club.
Join us, Chris. Join us.
I got stuff to watch, but I will. I will get to it. It is high on my list.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that I started watching, and it was a rewatch for me, was Sherlock.
Okay.
On the BBC with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. I had watched it many years ago, and I don't remember finishing it. Did you ever watch it, Chris?
I put it on, and then as I was watching the credits, I read that there's the American version with Johnny Lee Miller, and I watched that instead.
That's fair.
So I saw the credits. It looked pretty cool.
So it's really interesting because each episode is an hour and a half long.
Yes.
So it's like a mini movie. And I remember really liking the show, and I still remember liking it. It's going to be interesting when I get to the part where I feel like I left off because I don't remember watching the season finale of it. And one of the things I remember from watching Sherlock was from the makers of Sherlock or whatever, that Dracula show that came out. Yeah. What did you think of that one? Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched it. I think so. Like Sherlock, the episodes are an hour and a half to 2 hours. I don't remember the exact run times. Yeah. 2 of them I thought were really good. The third one is god awful, in my opinion.
Is that the one where they make some really wild swings and like they change everything?
The modern day episode, which is the third one, right? They take some liberties that I don't know what the thought process was there. Mm-hmm. But before that, it's pretty impressive, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I did the same. I think I watched the first 2, and then I didn't get around to finishing a third. I don't know why that is. That both of these shows by the same creator, I didn't end up finishing. maybe like Grabs was saying in the comments there, just the length of it. But there's only, I think, in each season there's only 2 or 3 episodes, and each episode is an hour and a half. But yeah, so I'm going to stick it out with Sherlock for a bit as the old stuff that I kind of mix into the new stuff because I do want to get to. I still got to get to friggin' Yellow Jackets and Sweet Tooth season 2, which I haven't got to yet. But
I forgot Sweet Tooth came out.
Yeah, I know. I forget every week, and it kills me by the end of the week when I'm getting ready to talk about some stuff with you on Sunday. Like, oh right, Sweet Tooth. I still haven't watched it. Talked about it.
Well, I also feel like we say we're going to watch this, watch that, and then life gets in the way, and we don't watch half of what we want.
100%.
Like I've been meaning to go see Into the Spider-Verse or whatever it's called, Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that seems nuts that you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I just haven't had a chance to, but I did see Flash twice, of course, and Elemental. So I got that.
There you go.
And I watch movies at home, but I'll get to it. But yeah, it's funny that the list is growing when we were supposed to be making the list smaller.
Smaller, yeah.
And what's kind of funny is that I know we're going to get to Stardust either this week or the next.
Yeah.
Which is not at the top of either of our lists, but we're going to do it.
Nope. Well, it was added to the list, so we have to do it before we add some more stuff to the list.
Right. We got to get to Stardust, which is the next Gathering of the Geeks movie night.
Yes.
Ian asked, did I miss the Bear talk? I have not seen any of the Bear. Have you?
Yeah, the first season is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and that was one of the conversations I was trying to come across. After one season of something, can one season be your favorite
Right.
TV show of all time? So yes, I've seen the first season. I haven't seen the second season. It just came out a couple days ago, I think. I haven't gotten to it. I'll binge it in a day though. They're 30-minute episodes usually, and I think there's only 10 of them, so that'll be a quick watch because I know once I start it, I won't want to stop it.
Is that good?
It's so good. It like the first season was just incredible. I
can say I will watch it, but that doesn't mean I'll get to it anytime soon. So
yeah,
whatever happens, happens. I'm more likely to watch Sherlock because I actually love Sherlock Holmes stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a wonder I have not seen that one because I didn't really like the Johnny Lee Miller one.
No, yeah. Do you like the movies?
The Robert Downey Jr. movies?
Yeah.
Yes, I love those.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing how pretty much every English actor can pull off an American accent, but it does not usually work vice versa.
Yeah.
But Robert Downey Jr. can pull off an English accent. Although I'd imagine it might irritate actual English people. Like Ian's in the comments, do you like Robert Downey Jr.'s accent in Sherlock Holmes? But I think those movies are a lot of fun. The only complaint I have on them is that they rely too much on action.
You're right. Yeah.
The action gets a little obnoxious for Sherlock Holmes. I wish they would do another one though and focus more on the horror kind of thing.
Right.
Like the first one was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And Sherlock Holmes and horror, I think, just goes together.
I agree with that. Watching Sherlock, just rewatching the 2 episodes, I just love Martin Freeman so much.
I do too.
I think he's a really, really good actor, and it makes me laugh when I think about all the comedy stuff he used to do. Like he was in the British Office, and in a bunch of Edgar Wright's early stuff. What's the cop one called?
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Oh, yeah, he's in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, he's in Hot Fuzz, and he's in At World's End. He's probably in a whole bunch of
Is he in Paul?
I assume so. But I don't know that for sure. Martin Freeman's a great actor. Really like him.
I like him too. The things I've seen him in. Cookie says the Bear season 2 is incredible. Surpassed the first season. That's saying a lot.
There you go.
Interesting. He says the Bear is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. We need more Molly Gordon and Jeremy Allen White. I'm assuming Jeremy Allen White is the main character.
He's the main guy. Yeah. Which one's Molly Gordon, Teddy? I don't know that name.
He looks like a young Gene Wilder, and I don't know how they didn't get him for Wonka instead.
Nice pull. I like that.
He's like identical.
I like that. That's fun.
Let's get him in Wonka.
Yeah. Get rid of Timothée Chalamet. Reshoot the whole movie.
But keep Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. I can't wait until we see that.
I am so excited. I don't care if the movie's horrible. I just want to see him as an Oompa Loompa. Ian is saying another recommendation I'm guessing no one has watched, Queen Charlotte. I love that show. I've heard of it. I've not seen it though.
Don't know about that one.
I believe it's a period show.
Those old period pieces.
Yes, those are kind of the hype now. I'd like more horror period pieces. Those are fun.
More horror, please.
Or like movies like A Knight's Tale where they kind of mix the genre. I really think that's fun.
What's that one from a couple years back, the World War II one, where it's like zombies? Oh,
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies?
No.
Or Pride, Prejudice, Zombies?
World War II.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? No.
Overlord. You ever see Overlord?
Oh, no, I didn't see that. Was it fun?
Yeah. No, I didn't see it either, but I meant to see it. It's got Wyatt Russell in it. I like that Wyatt Russell.
I guess that'll be for the movie night because I haven't seen it either.
We should. I've always wanted to catch that one. Mixes war movies and zombies, like you said. Mixing of genres is always fun.
It'll go on the list. Ian says no one is talking about Secret Invasion online. I can understand why. I found it pretty boring and forgettable. I fell asleep in the first 10 minutes.
Really?
I was really tired, I think.
Oh, okay.
I didn't pick it up. But yeah, I have not seen anybody talk about it other than the AI opening. That's the
Yeah.
only thing I've seen people say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cookie agrees. Queen Charlotte was so good. Phil says another recommendation for you all. No hard feelings. Hilarious time. I want to see this, but I don't really like Jennifer Lawrence, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure how I'm going to respond to it. But I do plan to watch it. Do you want to
Yeah,
see
I don't
it?
know. I don't know if I want to see it or not. It's interesting. The raunchy comedy is always something that comes around every once in a while. It's like like a full moon. You only get it every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's something I'll throw on. I won't go to the theater to see it, but I'll hit it up on streaming. I'm sure.
What's a new rom?
Give it a go. Yeah,
Those are always fun. I think.
always. Yeah, Chris. Anything else you want to talk about, man? I got nothing. That's all I watched over the last little while.
Yeah, it feels like I didn't have time to watch a lot of stuff during this period.
Mm-hmm.
Or I had time to read, but I didn't. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get to that though. Yeah, no, I think I'm good. This week I know we have some fun stuff coming. Are you seeing Indiana Jones?
Is that this week?
I thought it was.
Shoot, I still have to see The Flash. I'm probably going to go see tomorrow. So, geez, Dial of Destiny. Give me a couple more weeks.
We got that coming. Haunted Mansion's pretty soon.
Shit, it is this week. Damn it. Mm-hmm. See, I'm falling behind on movies. That's trouble.
You need Barry to run with you into the.
Yeah, come on, Barry. Slow it down, will you? Yeah, so I'm hoping to actually see The Flash maybe tomorrow. Oh, no, I can't go tomorrow.
India's this week.
Crud.
You can have a double feature at this. Yeah, that might be fun.
That would be fun. I don't know. I'll have to see. I do want to see Indiana Jones, though, for sure.
I may see it. I may not. I have not, I've only seen the first and the last one. So.
Yes. One thing for me this week that I'm going to get into is I'm going to get my first absolute edition of a comic book.
Oh, what'd you get?
3 Jokers. Absolute edition comes out this Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on. But that's going to be my first absolute edition, and I'm pretty excited about that. I've always wondered what my first absolute or omnibus of something is going to be, and turns out it's going to be 3 Jokers. So that comes out this week. So I'm excited to get that.
I thought it'd be Saga.
I got the trades of Saga, so I couldn't go back.
Fair. Yeah, I have the individuals of 3 Jokers, but I think I also want the absolute.
Yeah, the artwork and the cover just looks too good to pass up.
So. Yeah, that's a good one to have.
Mm-hmm. We got World Tree number 3 out this week.
Oh, we do?
I forgot about that. I'm just checking that up on League of Comics right now. So I probably have that somewhere. So get to reading that.
Grabs has the Absolute Watchmen, beautiful book, but I'm not sure they're worth the price tag. I think for me, when it comes to an absolute book, it has to be something I really love.
Yes.
So, like, I would get Long Halloween, the absolute, or Twig, if they ever put out an absolute.
We're just hoping for a hardcover or a sequel.
Something. Well, the sequel's coming, I think.
Yes.
It'll be here before we know it, I think. I hope. There it is.
I was going to say, you got Twig Evolution there. Still handy.
There's something that just don't delete. That is one of them.
Grabs, does that have the a nice slipcase on it? Like it might have a slipcase on the hardcover, but does go into a box as well? I think absolutes go into a box of some kind.
Do they? I thought that was just for certain ones.
Well, I don't really know. I thought they go into the box. I'll have to ask him, but
you can pick up the One Bad Day box set. That sounds cool. What do you mean you've got to fill it though?
Yeah.
Doesn't it come with the books?
Don't tell me it's just the box that you buy.
That would be no.
Because I know the hardcovers are coming out over the next little while.
Yeah, which I don't. The problem with that one is if you try to collect them, it's going to be like the size of an encyclopedia.
Well, yeah. I don't know what's extra about them either, but.
Yeah, I have not. I have no idea. I've not even.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious what Ian's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Not all do. Why Last Man does. But Watchmen is only a book cover.
Okay, interesting.
You only get Riddler and Killing Joke. Then they released the other hardcovers. Oh, that's interesting.
There you go. So yeah, I knew that the other hardcovers were coming, but I thought they were just doing them separately. So I thought you could get it all at once, and then do them separately if you wanted to.
Why would it come with the Killing Joke?
That's the whole One Bad Day thing, right?
Is it?
That's what it's all based off of. Is Ollie's having one bad day?
Yeah, but not every book followed that formula.
No, it didn't, and that's probably why some of them worked better than the other ones.
Yeah, like, I think the Clayface one did it really well. The Riddler, the Two-Face one did not feel like one bad day. It was just a Two-Face story.
So when you buy the box, Ian, it has spaces open for you to put the hardcovers or to put the. So that like the box would be like this big, or this big or whatever. They're releasing a box set all at once at the end as well. Great. I don't know what they're doing then. I'm lost on the box set.
I have them on DC Infinite.
Yeah, I got some of the single issues. That's pretty much it. I don't know.
I got the two I wanted.
I'd like to see what they look like.
Yeah.
Physically. Yeah.
The box is big and mostly empty. Okay, well that's something.
Interesting. That's an. I don't know if that's have you ever seen that happen before? Where you
I've seen that, like,
buy an empty
DVDs.
box and yeah. That's
I remember one of the Bond box sets came with space for, I think it was Skyfall.
That's interesting. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, hey, buy a box, then fill it up.
Yeah,
more money.
Weird. Yeah.
We will gouge. That's what it sounds like to me. But I'm sure it's cool.
Well, DC will gouge, that's for sure.
They do what they have to do. You've seen the box office returns. That's another time.
All right, Chris. Let's get out of here, man. Where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. You can also follow the podcast I do with my buddies Phil Walsh and Anthony Caruso over at DC Unlimited Pod on Twitter. And as always, I would absolutely love it if you would follow this show at G of the Geeks on Twitter. We do have a fun poll about peanut butter and jelly. Emmet will take
that was the other thing I was going to ask you about. That made me think about you guys have fairs down there. You got like weird funky foods like fried Mars bars and all that bullshit.
Fried cheesecake.
We don't have that much. What's that? Fried beer?
Yeah, so they got like a donut and they got a syringe full of beer. And they injected the syringe into the donut, and then they heated up they baked the donut.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it, and I don't think I ever want to do that again.
It got me thinking about the fried PB&J. I mean, I never had that up here, so that may be something I'll add it to my list, my food list. You can follow me on Twitter at EmmetDavis7. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Just search Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us. Thanks so much to Phil, Grabs, Zeddy, Ian, Cookie, Andrew as well. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. And we'll talk to you. Check out our YouTube. Maybe we'll have Stardust talk over this next week, or maybe next week. We'll see. See what we can plan or not plan. That's kind of how we go. In saying all that, for Chris and I'm Emmet, and we gather on Sundays.
Have a good week, guys.